Adam Sandler, an actor so infamous that simply saying his name either brings people intense feelings of happiness or disgust. But how does an actor become one of the biggest Oscar snubs of all time while also being nominated for multiple Razzie Awards for being the worst actor of the year? Find out when we look at the extremely divisive career of Adam Sandler.
I'd like to also give a shout out to my fellow nominees, who will now and forever be known as the guys who lost to fucking Adam Sandler.
Please don't click off this video, but at one point, Adam Sandler is my favorite actor. It was in 6th grade to be fair, but during that time, whenever I wanted to watch a movie, I would usually just type Adam Sandler into Netflix and watch whichever of his movies I hadn't seen yet. Though my fandom for him is not at the heights it used to be, I still enjoy a good portion of his films today. Adam Sandler's film career started in 1989 with the film Going Overboard, but he did not experience his big break until comedian Dennis Miller caught one of Sandler's comedy sets and recommended him to the then producer of Saturday Night Live, Lorne Michaels. This led to Sandler joining SNL in 1990 and kicked off a 5-year run that caused Adam Sandler to become one of the most beloved actors in SNL history. His songs are honestly really catchy and funny. I know I still think of his Lunch Lady song whenever I eat a Sloppy Joe. Sandler was eventually fired from SNL in 1995, but he landed on his feet and starred the movie Billy Madison that year. This movie had a $26.4 million box office, which was a profit from the $10 million budget. But it was universally panned by critics, and this is a trend that you guys are going to quickly see happens with most of Sandler's films. This movie about a man repeating grade school was one of the Sandleronians, I hope that's what they're called, favorite Sandler movies. But even at the height of my Adam Sandler phase, I was never able to connect with the humor in this one as much as some of his other films. Adam Sandler's next successful picture was Happy Gilmore. ESPN ranks this as the funniest sports movie of all time, and this movie follows Happy Gilmore as he tries to raise enough money as a pro golf player to buy back his grandma's house. Happy has many unconventional techniques, such as running up to the ball at full speed to hit it, and getting the crowd loud before his swings. This movie showcases Adam Sandler playing an empathetic underdog, which is a character that he is talented at and would go on to play multiple times in the future. Happy Gilmore and the universally panned Bulletproof got Sandler nominated for his first Razzie Award in 1997. And for the most part, I feel like a lot of this hate towards Sandler in the early portion of his career is semi-unjustified. I feel like he never had a gripping performance in a drama movie, but he did a really good job of playing these funny, wacky characters in comedies that a lot of members of the American public really rally behind. Following this was The Wedding Singer, which is a movie that I would honestly recommend for almost anyone. It is set in the 80s, and Sandler's typically outrageous style of humor is a bit tamer during this movie, and it has some surprisingly heartwarming moments. This caused the movie to earn the 5th highest rating on Rotten Tomatoes of any Adam Sandler movie, and the quality of this movie is not the only significant thing about it, as it's the first movie to pair Sandler with Drew Barrymore. Billy Idol also makes an appearance in it, which is pretty cool. Sandler's next movie would be another sports comedy in 1998's Waterboy. This movie earned a whopping $190 million off of a $23 million budget. It's fair to say that the southern charm and passion for water of Mr. Bobby Boucher helped warm many people's hearts. Then Big Daddy featured Sandler and the pre-Sweet Life Sprouse twins. This movie continued the Sandler trend. It earned a profit of $200 million, but it was nominated at the Razzies for Worst Picture of the Year and netted Sandler another Worst Actor award. But it won Best Movie, and Sandler won Best Actor at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, so it wasn't all bad. In Punch Drunk Love, Sandler was able to earn praise from the critics. He played the same underdog character, but he put a dramatic spin on it this time. I personally really enjoy this film, but I'm not the only one who thinks so, as Sandler is nominated for the Golden Globe for the Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy. This film made many people view Sandler as more than just a goofy comedy actor. In 2002, he made one of his most universally panned movies in 8 Crazy Nights. The creators were likely envisioning this movie as being a comedic Christmas tradition akin to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, but the jokes do not land and are honestly just very cringe. I wouldn't blame anyone that couldn't even sit through the trailer for this movie. Click was my favorite Adam Sandler movie during my Sandler phase. During this time, I could never get my friends to understand how this movie perfectly blended comedy and drama. Like, I literally almost cried during this movie. I definitely don't share that sentiment nowadays, but I still think this is a fun film with the type of crude humor that you could expect from Sandler. It was also nominated for Best Makeup at the Academy Awards, and it just makes me laugh knowing how close this movie was to winning an Oscar. So if you don't like Sandler, I would stay away from this one, but if you do, then hopefully you'll get as much enjoyment out of it as I did when I was younger. Longest Yard was a remake of the Kurt Russell film from 1974. Its colorful cast includes Kurt Russell himself, Dallas Cowboys great Michael Irvin, college football national champion Brian Bosworth, and 4 former WWE champions, which in all seriousness may be the record for most former wrestling world champions in a movie. This is kind of one of those movies where you get in an argument with your dad over if the modern or classic version is better. In 2007, Sandler created the greatly disliked I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. This movie follows 2 men faking a marriage so that Kevin James's character can receive healthcare. I want to talk about this movie about as much as you want to listen to it. So, to sum it up perfectly, there's a 0% chance that this movie would be made nowadays. In 2010, an Avengers-like team of 2000s comedy actors was assembled for Grown Ups. This is one of those iconic Sandler movies. It had the Sandler special of making boatloads at the box office and receiving poor reviews by critics. The humor is definitely not perfect, but it still does have some funny moments. It's kind of one of those reliably good comedies that I feel like everyone has had recommended to them at some point. Following Grown Ups, Sandler's career took a major step back with movies like Jack and Jill and That's My Boy. Both of these movies take everything bad about Sandler and bake it into a disappointing Sandler pie. Even the most die-hard Sandler followers likely will admit that these are some of his worst works. Sandler got back on track with Hotel Transylvania though. His haunting portrayal of Dracula earned it over $350 million at the box office and netted Sandler another Kids' Choice Award. The whole Transylvania series proved to be a successful one, with Hotel Transylvania 3 becoming the highest grossing movie in Sandler's career. Pixels was a movie that I loved when I saw it as a bright-eyed kid in theaters, but I retracted that statement a long time ago. This movie's plot seems like what a 70-year-old thinks gamers are like, and while a lot of the moments with the video game characters can be fun, it seems like they're just trying to capitalize off their name value. But even though this movie was bad, the darkest days in the history of Adam Sandler were yet to come. I'm gonna group the next couple of films into a specific category: Adam Sandler's Netflix movies. This period was probably when Sandler was seen the least favorably in the public eye, and this was due to the Sandler style of humor that a lot of people were mainly growing tired of. Movies like The Do-Over and Hubie Halloween seem like they were just trying to capitalize off of Sandler's name value, but as the Sandler Superman does, when his movies are bad, he seems to still turn a profit. The Ridiculous Six, for instance, got a whopping 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, but became Netflix's most viewed movie at the time in just its first month on the streaming service. 2019 proved to be the year of Adam Sandler. He received the Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series for his return to host SNL. Then he delivered likely the best acting performance of his career when he played the high-rolling Howard Ratner in Uncut Gems. This movie feels like being in a high-speed car chase for 2 hours. It follows Ratner, a jewelry store owner, as he tries to live his high-octane life. This life involves him constantly doing whatever he can to pay off his debts, though whenever it seems like he's about to, he falls deeper in debt. Adam Sandler does such a good job playing this conniving man that I forgot it was Sandler midway through this movie, which is one of the best signs of a good performance. A performance so good that Sandler was nominated for the Razzie Redeemer Award and won the Best Male Actor Award at the Film Independent Spirit Awards. But obviously the most notable award, or lack thereof, was Sandler's snub at the Oscars. You can think whatever you want, but I feel like it was unfair that Sandler wasn't nominated for the Academy Award. I wish that the Academy didn't discount his roles in the past, and I feel like Sandler might even deserve more recognition for delivering such a compelling performance considering his reputation. Adam Sandler might be the most hated actor of all time, but is this hate justified? I don't feel like it entirely is. As I previously mentioned, while a lot of his roles have not been the captivating or dramatic type, he has been very good at creating these incredibly comedic moments. But when he misses on a comedy, it's probably going to end up being one of the worst movies of all time, not to mention that some of his movies have aged like spoiled milk. Though, when he takes on these more demanding roles like in Uncut Gems or Punch Drunk Love, he typically hits them out of the park. You may completely disagree with my take, but that's what makes Adam Sandler one of the most divisive actors of all time. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I tried to just hit the highlights of Sandler's career, so if you have a particular favorite moment or movie in Sandler's career, go ahead and comment that down below. And if you want to see more pop culture related videos, then I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like or subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day.